Ian Stahl. I would have to say he's the best matchup I've ever had so far in this game online.
10 rounds of heavyweights. This should be a really good matchup here tonight. All that energy that we saw, it almost boiled over at the weigh-in yesterday. Now it gets to explode.
Yeah, this guy's distinct facial features made me think that it might be the actual player's face, because you can't put dark rings on your eyes, under your eyes, so I think that was the actual player. So here's a funny little tidbit. I had totally forgotten to turn on the sparkle effects and the explosions and shit. So all the guys smoke. For the President of the United States, all he gets is a lousy fog. Sorry, guys. Look at that determination in his eyes. So there he is, Mr. Stahl. Do keep in mind the height differences between Obama and Stahl. It's pretty daunting. And I admit, at times you feel intimidated by a larger fighter, but in the end, it all comes down to skill, combos, and determination. So this is actually a version 2.0 update, I guess, to my Barack Obama character. If you see my first video that I made of him, he didn't have these custom boxing shorts, or trunks, sorry. He had different ones. I think he had the Mike Tyson trunks. So I decided to switch it up and kind of make it match his robe. So I started off with the jabs. That's his main style when I created him in the boxer creation setup. I chose him to be a conventional fighter, so I actually had to look up the word conventional in boxing because I didn't know what it meant. Turns out that basically he starts off all his combos with the jab. So as you can see here, I'm always starting off with my left jab to the face, to the body, and then I switch it up with combos with hooks, uppercuts, left, right. So one thing I haven't done a lot throughout this whole match is a lot of counters. Primarily because I try to knock the wind out of this guy, because he was a pretty heavy puncher. I think a couple of times he used a lot of the power modifiers, so he was punching really hard a couple of times. So I think the best way to counter that, besides actually countering, is to knock the wind out of his stomach, and that's what I tried doing here with all these combos to the gut. And it does slow him down, I think, by round 3. Look at that, see that? That's a nice uppercut left and right. That's what you gotta do to big towering giants. Oh, did you notice that? That was pretty awesome. So I was worked out so much to the point where when the round ended, he had a different animation. I'd never noticed that type of animation before in these characters. At the end of a round, they usually just kind of stop, but my character was totally wind out. It was like, can't bring him down. So another tactic you should note is that I'm not keeping my distance. I am all the way up in his kitchen, as they say. The advantage of this is that you don't give him the reach that he wants. He has a longer arm span, so he tries to keep me away. But see his little jabs, they really didn't do much effect because he's too close. He's got to have like at least a medium distance to deal maximum damage with them. So I got in there really close and just pound away. There you go, see that? Since I got the shorter reach, my uppercuts actually are more effective than his. Even though that looks like it didn't hit him, you can blame EA or whoever made the game. So that was a pretty good uppercut. I admit I rarely finish off these guys with uppercuts, but this is one exception.
where you're wrong. It's not hard to prepare. It's a must to prepare. If you're a trainer, that's what you do in the gym. You teach a guy, if you're in this situation, this is what you
No matter
do.
how tall your boxer is, there's always something intimidating when you fight up against Barack Obama. I don't know if you guys searched other Barack Obama matches, or maybe you came to my video because you wanted to see what my Barack looks like, but I think he stands out. Like, I think the game did a good job pasting his photo onto his face. Even though this is a second revision, it still made him look pretty believable. Oh, that was player mistake right there. He didn't keep his guard up immediately after his punches. You're gonna notice this become ultimately his demise.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And somehow, some way, he's going to continue on here.
And if he's going to stay in this fight, now he's going to...
Look at that, see? Once again, he doesn't keep his arms up. Right there, that's really hard to tell whether he went AFK. A lot of the times when you go AFK, you don't want to hit start and exit because it counts as a disconnect. And everyone who plays this game, especially in World Championship mode, disconnects actually appear as DNFs, or did not finish. And when you have a did not finish rating of like 15%, no one wants to play against you because you're just a quitter. You just rage quit. So these hardcore boxers or players, they actually are willing to just put the controller down and do whatever it is they have to do, and then just take the loss. And that's what I've been doing too. But it's questionable whether or not he did that at that point, or he literally was just dumb enough not to block. But if you rewind the video and check for yourself, I'll let you be the judge.
Be responsible defensively. Don't get reckless, but stay on him. Do not let him recover.
Good defensive skill with the block by Real Deal.
And this guy was really one of the best players I've ever played against. I think, I'm not saying because I won, but because he wasn't being cheap about his boxing style. He would always just switch it up. He wouldn't be dancing around the ring like a lot of players do. He wouldn't be staying in his corner all the time. That, I don't know what that was about. He would always just a well-rounded player, and you rarely find those, let alone with good pings, good connections. So I think this guy was probably from the West Coast as well.
Well off the mark by Real Deal. More than one punch downstairs, that can be damaging.
So I think one of the challenges when you're playing this game, especially online, is how do you manage your stamina? When do you want to go all out, guns blazing, and when do you want to conserve it? I think it just comes down to your gut feeling. Like early on in the round, I knew that this guy was going to be a big matchup for me, and so I figured I'd just knock the wind out of him in the first 2 rounds, so it slows him down in the other rounds. And so, as you can see, my stamina is a little bit lower than it was, and I think it's because I just went all out with those punches. I think in the end, you can see my score. The next round, I think it'll tell you. I'll let you know how many. Well, it doesn't count how many punches, but it'll just tell you, I guess, a general idea of who landed the most amount per round. So did you see that? Once again, conventional fighter. He starts off with the stomach and then does a combo upstairs, and then finishes once again with an uppercut. Yet again, guard down. I'm telling you, this guy just doesn't believe in blocking. Or at least not so much, anyways. That's another thing, too, when you're a tall boxer, at least in this game, I don't know about real life. In this game, all these players, they really go for the advantage with arm span and height intimidation. And a lot of the times, they just try to get up on your face, or they try to pick you off from a distance because they have a longer reach. But this guy was really all up, in and out. So I would say this definitely was my best match.